So next up is Namor. Namor is a long-range specialist who can summon sea creatures to attack his enemies. He has slightly higher base health compared to other duelists. Both of Namor's trident attacks are unaffected by damage falloff. Namor's kit revolves around aquatic dominion, which allows him to temporarily summon monstro spawns to attack enemies from a distance. This ability has two charges. Namor lobs the eggs of the spawns in an arc in a small distance. Monstro spawns can be attached to any surface, including walls and ceilings. Monstro spawns deal low damage, but have high attack speed. Monstro spawns will automatically attack nearby targets and do not need to be aimed. This makes Namor an excellent anti-dive duelist who can protect the bat line from flankings. So his primary fire, Trident of Neptune, has infinite ammo and travels at a slight arc. Each successful hit reduces the cooldown of Aquatic Dominion. Critical hits temporarily enrage all monstro spawns, increasing their attack speed by 150%. Don't worry, we'll get into that. But this is his main attack. It does pretty good damage. It is a projectile though, so it's not his scan or anything. So you do have to track your targets a little bit. Base damage, not as good, obviously, as a headshot. That's just true for anything, though, to be honest. His secondary fire, Wrath of the Seven Seas, functions similar to his primary fire, but deals damage in a small radius at a cooldown. Using this ability will command all monstro spawns to deal an enhanced attack to the nearest enemy, dealing vastly increased damage. While the trident hits an enemy, monstro spawns are temporarily enraged, dealing more damage on a direct hit, unlike the Trident of Neptune. So that's just that. As you can see, I forgot to turn off cooldowns, I mean. So, it's a decent attack, mostly for his little squid dudes we'll get into in a moment. Blessing of the Deep makes Namor temporarily immune to all damage or crowd control while flying upwards. So this little bubble makes you immune. So if you pull out a squid, it'll deal damage over time. If you get a headshot, it'll attack faster, as you can see. If you use your other trident, it'll do like a big attack against the target, but also increase the attack speed as well, so you don't have to get a headshot. So basically, you just want to spam your squid guys around you and just try to go for headshots, basically, and this as well on like priority targets. It's pretty straightforward, I'm gonna be honest. It's not as complicated as people think it is. You know, kind of just like do that, go for a headshot, get a lot more damage, go for a trident, you know, stuff like that. Pretty simple stuff. And his ultimate, Horn of Proteus, summons Giganto to deal damage in a massive radius around the targeted location, knocking enemies down and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Enemies nearest to the center of the radius take increased damage from Giganto, so that little center there will be the most damage. It can still kill enemies like around it, obviously, but you know, if you have like a tank or something, you want them to be in the middle. And yeah, that is Namor. He's pretty straightforward. He does a lot of damage, and you just kind of have to get headshots. It's kind of like his only downside is that you need headshots. But with the right crosshair, headshots should be relatively easy if you go into that part of the document.
Did everyone miss me while I was off soaring through the stars?
Alright, next up is Phoenix, who plays similarly to Hela. Phoenix is a mid-range damage dealer that can absolutely dominate choke points with her unique chain reaction mechanic, spreading damage across grouped up enemies. Kind of like Moon Knight. Her primary fire, Cosmic Flames, is a hit scan attack that deals moderate damage and applies 1 spark to enemies upon hit. When reaching 3 sparks, Phoenix will trigger an explosion that deals area damage and grants healing over time to herself. Critical hits will apply 2 sparks. The explosion effects will also apply 1 spark to nearby enemies caught within the blast. So, as you can see, that's 1 spark, that's 2 sparks, 3 spark, you go boom. But if you get a headshot, that goes up to 2 sparks, and then a third, boom. So, again, kind of headshot focused. You want to get a lot of headshots with Phoenix. But good crowd control, like in a group, getting these sparks off is good. It'll attach to other enemies as well after the explosion, just causing her to just unleash hell upon everybody, basically. It's crazy. Her secondary fire, psionic detonation, hurls a projectile that marks its landing location to send forth 3 uplifting explosions that apply 1 spark each on hit. The first explosion will stun enemies, while the subsequent 2 will instead briefly slow down enemies. So that's going to be this attack here. Looks like that. So if they're within the blast, they'll be stunned a little bit. Spark will be added. But it can be used like that to slow them down. So you can do it like this, and each target will get a spark on them. Pretty straightforward, I like to think. Telepathic illusion allows Phoenix to swiftly dash in the direction of movement and leave behind an illusion that explodes after a brief delay, applying 1 spark to nearby enemies. We'll again show that real quick. There's the dash. As you can see, deals 1 spark. That also causes explosions too, so if you did like that, go like that, Or you can go like this and then like this. There's multiple ways to use it. Usually you just want to use it to be like invincible, kind of use it like a dodge, more than anything. Darkest Sand grants Phoenix flight and increased movement speed while active. So that's just doing that. She has no slow falling though, like Hella does. But you can use it like multiple times as long as that meter is high enough. And then her ultimate lifts her into the sky, and then allows her to slowly dive down towards a targeted area on the ground. Upon landing, a massive explosion will be triggered that deals damage to enemies with a very large nearby radius and applies 1 spark to those hit. The explosion also immediately depletes all bonus health and kills enemy spawnables, making this extremely useful against opponents with high survivability such as Venom. Phoenix is immune to all forms of damage and stuns during the casting process of the ultimate. After the ultimate ends, Phoenix will reappear in the air from the original casting location and regain all of her missing health as a Phoenix would. So, go into the air, come down, boom, and then you come back. And that'll apply sparks to everyone, but it'll also detonate sparks as well, if I can show that off. So if we get like 2 sparks, go down, go boom. The sparks will also go boom. So, you definitely want to get sparks and then do that. And yeah, this Phoenix, pretty straightforward. Not much to say.
Feature a very different version of me.
Sorry, I just finished this real quick. Take a little sip of some.
Here they come now.
Alright. We're officially 25 more to go. pages, not characters. That'd be insane. 25 more pages to go. We're almost right at the very end there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is Psylocke. Psylocke is a swift mid-ranged assassin with high mobility who specializes in flanking to deal quick and high burst damage, as well as becoming invisible to her enemies. Her primary fire, Psychotic Crossbow, fires 4 quick bolts in a spread. If all 4 bolts hit the same target, it deals massive damage. Each successful hit decreases the cooldown of all her abilities by 0.25 seconds. So, you know, just kind of keep hitting them. As you can see, pretty straightforward. Headshots come pretty easily as well, as you can see. Like, I'm literally aiming at, like, the body. Still getting headshots. Her secondary fire, Wing Shuriken, shoots 5 shurikens in a spread that sticks to her targets. If all 5 shurikens hit the same target, it deals massive damage. Pressing the button again causes Psylocke to recall the shurikens, dealing damage to enemies caught in its path. Successful hits grant Psylocke a small amount of bonus health per shuriken landed. It's just going to look like that. Call it back. So to hit all of them, you get bonus health, and it deals increased damage. So that's kind of like her whole thing, is you do that, you do that. You kind of insta-kill most people, to be honest. It's kind of insane if you do it right. But then you can also, like, move those to, like, hit other targets as well, kind of like that, you know? If you, like, threw this up here, kind of like that, you know? You probably don't want to be doing that, because you want the bonus health, so you want to land as many of those as you can. And then when it's recalled, it'll also do some damage as well. It's kind of that's kind of her main combo, is your primary fire and secondary. Usually cleans up most people. Side Blade Dash is a quick lunging slash that can hit multiple enemies in its path. This ability has 2 charges. Using this ability automatically recalls her Wing Shuriken if it's previously thrown, even if Psylocke does not hit any enemy with the dash. So if you do that and then you dash, you'll call the shurikens back to you. This also does, like, I don't, very minimal damage. You know, it doesn't do a lot of damage, so you go like boom, 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 boom. I killed you too fast. Like this. You can, you know, she's pretty combo heavy in terms of that. You have to hit all your shots to be, like, really good, you know? Because it goes in, like, a spread like that. Those also go in a spread, as you can see. So you need to be hitting all your shots. And I mean, from a distance, the main function's pretty good. The flying shuriken's not as good from a distance, but that's the main play there. And then you can also use this to, like, you know, get out of danger. Or move somewhere else. Or if someone's low, you can just do that. You take them out. That's the main combo you want to do, though. Just boom, 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 and then boom. Psychic Stealth turns Psylocke completely invisible to her enemies for 3 seconds, while also granting her 50% increased movement speed. As you can see, you go invisible. If you attack, you come out of it. This allows you to, you know, either get close to enemies or to get further away from them, depending on... Because you can, like, dash in, then go invisible, basically. But it's good for, like, sneaking around. She is a diver, so, you know, you want to pick off targets when they're low, just kind of go in, go invisible. And then, again, all her attacks, like, you get your abilities back faster. Basically, the cooldowns are reduced. And her ultimate Dance of the Butterfly deals high multi-hit damage for a few seconds in a large radius around the targeted location. If multiple enemies are in the range of the ultimate, Psylocke will attack them at random, but will prioritize slashing enemies that have been hit at least once. If that sounds confusing, it kind of is, but, you know, you do your thing. If enemies are hit once, you'll target them more. And I know back in Season 0, I think, this would do damage based on how many enemies are around. So, like, It will do less damage the more enemies are in your circle, basically. So you'd want to use this to like pick off a target or two, rather than trying to kill like an entire team doing that. And yeah, that's it for Psylocke. Again, very combo heavy. You gotta, you gotta do your stuff right. But she's cool. She's still good to this day. You just gotta use her right, unfortunately. It's a bit of a skill ceiling there. But again, she's a dive, so kind of just want to go like behind the enemies basically and use your dashes to move around. And yeah, that is Psylocke. Basic rundown. Next up is Scarlet Witch. Probably one of the user heroes to use. Scarlet Witch. I'm going to take a sip actually before I continue this. Because wow, my throat is ready to turn off. Scarlet Witch is a mid-range elusive combatant who can cripple her targets with both sustained and burst damage. Her primary fire, Chaos Control, is a channeled energy beam that deals I don't know why I can't say this right now. Consistent flat damage plus an additional percentage based on the target's maximum health. This ability has infinite ammo and doesn't require much aim. Scarlet Witch will automatically attack the nearest enemy within its radius. Hitting with this ability fuels her chaos energy, which is used to release her other attack, which we'll get into. But yeah, this is that. Straightforward. Not much to say about it. The more health they have, the more damage it does. Like against like tanks and stuff like that. Kind of like Venom's ultimate. Or Iron Fist's abilities. Her secondary fire is like a burst, launches explosive magic missiles that both deal direct damage and also a small area of effect near the target location. This ability requires chaos energy to use and has 4 charges. And so the chaos energy is those little symbols in the middle of the screen there, those 4 little symbols. So you throw that down, cause damage, and this will gain those back. So it's a lot of just this, throw those out, just kind of keep repeating the process over and over again. Dark Seal launches a chaotic bubble that periodically stuns enemies within its radius. As you can see, pretty straightforward, not much to say. Mystic Projection phases Scarlet Witch into combat, making her completely immune to all damage, excluding if she's hit by a delayed damage attack. This ability has 2 charges. She gains a bonus movement speed of 50% and free flight for a few seconds while she's phased, which is this, as you can see. So you can survive ultimates doing that. If you just go invisible, they can't hit you. Pretty straightforward. I mean, she's one of the easiest heroes to learn. She's limited on the damage she can do. She's very much like hard capped based on the enemy you're attacking, so you'll never do more damage than this, basically. You're kind of just always stuck doing the same amount. And then her ultimate is a charged attack released in a large radius around her, dealing massive damage and literally vaporizing enemies defeated by it. While charging, Scarlet Witch moves 25% slower, but gains a free flight. When activated, she gains a 100.
And so it begins.
The ultimate deals the highest damage in the game. Basically, next to Iron Man's ultimate, these ultimates just insta-kill anything. As you can see, everything just kind of dies, no matter what. It does take a while to actually use it, though, so, the enemy team will just look at you if you're in plain sight. So usually what you want to do is, well, you can go invisible, first of all, but usually you want to go, like, behind some cover, pop this, and then come out when you have, like, 3 of those red orbs around. Or, what you can also do is go invisible, go up, and then use it as well. But again, it just takes so long. The enemies are just going to snipe you down very quickly. But I mean, if you're new to the game, she's okay for the lower ranks for sure. She gets the job done. Higher ranks, not so much. Not gonna be able to do much with Scarlet Witch after that point, but to get used to the game, she's good.
Someone's gotta stop Doom. I mean, Dooms. I hope there's only two.
Sorry, I need to keep my throat, ready to go. Okay, so next up is Spider-Man, who is my favorite superhero of all time, by the way. He's one of the hardest characters to actually use, so just be aware of that. Again, this is just the basics of characters. I'm not teaching you a million combos and stuff like that, and the best, techniques. That's not what we're here for. We're just here for the basics. So Spider-Man is an incredibly agile and complex hit-and-run fighter, capable of assaulting and eliminating enemies from the air with his combos, and then swiftly leaves the scene. His exceptional mobility allows him to reach advantages. I don't know who says that. To reach advantage positions for both offensive and defensive maneuvers, making it very hard for enemies to pin him down. Capable of web swinging, and unlike Venom's Venom Swing, Spider-Man has 3 charges of the web swing, capable of wall crawling and sprinting on walls, and also capable of double jumping. He's got it all, as a spider does. So yeah, your typical Spider-Man stuff, like web swing and everything, just like normal. You can also, if you shoot it at the ground, you could, towards a target, like so. You can also do it on a wall, kinda, if you're, low enough. But, if you ever played the PS5 Spider-Man games, you should be sort of well-equipped for this. Especially if you set your controls to the exact controls of that game. Again, he's my favorite superhero ever, just because winging is just so fucking awesome, to be honest. But again, he's one of the hardest characters to use. That's why you never see me use him at any point ever. The core gameplay of Spider-Man is attaching enemies with his spider tracers, which enable his kit and even changes the priorities of certain abilities. So we'll get into that. His passive Spider Sense allures players of nearby enemies in the form of an icon above Spider-Man's head, as you know. His primary fire, Spider Power, is a 3-hit melee combo, being 2 punches and a kick. This deals extra damage if an enemy has a spider tracer attached to them. So let's just go see this normally. This is his normal combo there. And then you can apply a spider tracer to them to do more damage. His secondary fire, Web Cluster, launches a web that deals damage and attaches a spider tracer on his target for a few seconds. This ability has 5 charges, which is going to be your left trigger to shoot webs, which opens up his entire kit, by the way. So you kind of always want to hit someone with that at all times, no matter what. And then Get Over Here shoots a web string that pulls enemies towards Spider-Man's location. If the target is attached with a spider tracer, Spider-Man will launch himself towards the enemy instead and perform a flying kick. Let's go see this normally. Pulls him in. Pretty cool. If there's a web tracer, you can throw yourself in doing a little kick, which opens up his combos. And then Amazing Combo is a rising uppercut that launches enemies upwards. It deals extra damage if the target is attached with a spider tracer. This ability has 2 charges. So again, just your regular uppercut, but if they have a spider tracer, there's more damage. Spider tracers are like the key to everything he does. So, what you want to do is get a spider tracer, pull him in, get another one, uppercut him, do some attacks. You can double jump and then do this pound attack as well. If you double jump, I didn't mean to do that. So it's very much like, you fly in, hit a target. Whoops. Sorry, I'm not good with Spider-Man. You kind of fly in, hit someone. I keep missing. This is not a good example of how to be a good Spider-Man. You fly in, hit someone, do that, boom, boom, hit him again, boom. Kind of like that. It's kind of like how you play Spider-Man. Those spider tracers are the key to everything you do, though. So you gotta manage those. You manage all your cooldowns and everything, basically. But I mean, another thing you realistically could do is if you're flying around, you can like pick up an enemy like that to like move them towards you. Which is how you see like a lot of enemies, a lot of good Spider-Mans like pulling people off the map. It's because they do like that from a distance. But you need like momentum to do that. So it's weird because you would have to like you have to do it while moving, basically, which I can't show you because I'm not good enough for that. But if you're moving and then like use that at the same time, you can stop targets. But yeah, his web cluster is the key to his whole thing. So you gotta use that as much as possible, is to get those webs on him to deal the most amount of damage. But again, he's a diver, so it's a lot of just picking targets, knowing when you can and cannot kill someone, and then just kind of fleeing the scene. And then, heal up, get your cooldowns back, and then, you can go back into the fight. Kind of like that, Again, it's complicated to explain Spider-Man because he's hard. And then his ultimate, Spectacular Spin, is a multi-hit barrage of web clusters that deal consistent damage in a radius around him. Each hit adds a stacking effect to the enemy of -3% slow. Once it reaches a certain number of stacks, enemies become stuck in webs. Stunned briefly, Spider-Man gains bonus health equal to his max health during the execution of this ability. So you want to be using this with max health if possible. And then you just kind of... Your flip immediately goes away afterwards, so you want to be using that at full health. But it's a good ultimate, does a lot of damage. It's pretty damn good. I would like to be a good Spider-Man one day, I really would, because, I don't know, he's like the most fun hero, Not all heroes need to be about, like, it being fun and whatnot, but he just do a little bit of everything. And like his movement is just so clean. If you're in like an open area, if you're in a more like enclosed area, not so good. But there's a lot of combos you can learn with him too. It'd be like this, and then like I don't know how to do it. I've only done it once, but you can like shoot this down, and then also throw out a cluster at like the same time to give yourself like a boost of speed, kind of like that. I can't do it perfectly because I don't know how to do it, but I kind of did it. But I can't do it continuously because the timing is just so tight on it. You kind of saw it there. But yeah, he has a lot of different combos that you're going to have to learn on your own time. I mean, obviously I will get into that in like a different section of these lessons, because this is just your bronze to platinum stuff that you need to know if you want to get to platinum. And I'll explain why you'd want to do that at the end of this. But yeah, Spider-Man is one of the hardest characters to learn because there's so much the game does not tell you about him. But at the same time, because of that, he can also carry games pretty effortlessly if you know how to use them properly. Because you could just go for like enemy supports, or like even from up here, just like do that. I guess I can't do that from up here. I'm too high to showcase what I'm trying to show, but you get the idea. He's very combo intense. Next up is Squirrel. Not much to really say about her. I'll be honest, I don't like Squirrel Girl, but hey, that's just me. Okay. Hold on, let me readjust this shit. Are we good? We're almost done. We're almost done. Final strike. Yeah. Squirrel Girl is a long-range specialist with high vertical mobility who can consistently bombard enemies with area of effect damage from safe locations. Has slightly higher max health compared to other duelists. Her primary fire, Burst Acorn, is a large projectile launched in an arc that explodes on contact or after bouncing twice, dealing high damage. This projectile is incredibly versatile as it can bounce off the ground, walls, and ceiling, giving Squirrel Girl means to dish out damage without putting herself at risk by using terrain advantages. So, if you hit an enemy, it blows up. It can bounce on the ground, like so, as you can see, or it can bounce it off a wall as well. I mean, good luck trying to aim that properly, but I mean, you can do it if you put in enough practice, So theoretically, you could be all the way down here where enemies can't even see you, and you're just bombarding the enemies, if you will. And then her crosshair, default crosshair, just shows the drop off basically. And the drop off's kind of crazy. Hitting enemies from this far away is a bit hard, but it's not impossible. You absolutely can just sit at the back of the map, and there's no damage fall off. So she's good from a distance, which also means you're probably gonna be hunted down a lot, but. From a distance, she's really good. This is the enemies never have to see you for you to kill them, basically. As long as you have enough bounce, if you will. Her secondary fire, Squirrel Blockade, launches a large projectile that deals direct damage and briefly imprisons the target. This ability can be charged to increase the projectile speed and widen the arc that it travels in. Much like her primary fire, this ability can bounce off terrain, so that's going to be this. As you can see, it'll stun them, but you can also bounce it off walls. That guy is never coming back. You can roll it on the ground as well, obviously. Or if you aim behind them, you can do something like that almost.
They don't look friendly.
Or you can just tap it like that, it'll still stun them. It just gets bigger and harder to miss if you charge it and bounce off terrain. How many bounces does it have? I need to stop hitting the enemy. Your bouncing is very weird, I'm gonna be honest. What is that, 5 bounces? That was about 5 bounces. So, yeah, I mean, just throwing at enemies is pretty straightforward. Tail Bounce is Squirrel Girl's main mobility tool. Launching her directly upwards with triple her normal jump height, Squirrel Girl is briefly immune to all crowd control while propelling herself, so it's good to get out of damage. And you also just, bounce super high, pretty straightforward. Allows you to be even harder to, hit, because you could just be like that, throw that down, we'll go like that, we'll boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Pretty straightforward. She's not hard at all. And she can be good if used correctly, it's just like any other hero. And then, Mammal Bond instantly reloads her Burst Acorn and allows her to use Squirrel Blockade or Tail Bounce once without triggering a cooldown. This effectively means a player can either fire 2 Squirrel Blockades in quick succession or use Tail Bounce twice in a row to reach higher heights. So that'll be the right bumper. So you can use whichever ability twice. This also refreshes cooldowns as well, so let me just show that real quick. So if I were to throw one of these down, I use this, and then I can throw another one down, and then it's on a cooldown. And then you can also do double bounce, tail bounces as well. depending on the scenario you are in. But it basically refreshes your cooldowns. And then her ultimate, Unbeatable Squirrel Tsunami, summons a horde of squirrels to charge forward. The player can aim the direction they want the stampede to move. The horde will bounce off walls and terrains, traveling in a straight line. The stampede will seek enemy players within range. As you can see, you can angle this, you can bounce it off walls if you wanted to, and it'll keep looking at targets that are within range. So, using this ability in close range is probably your best bet, because it'll just bounce off of everything and then just target, you know, the enemy just like that. So, you know. And yeah, that's a Squirrel Girl. Not much to really say. Pretty straightforward. She's pretty easy, and she can be good if you use her properly. Just like anyone else. Next up is Star-Lord, who's also pretty straightforward. Where is he? There you are.
I found a family out here in space, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe.
Alright. So Star-Lord is a slippery mid-range flanker with high mobility, capable of using acrobatics and limited flight to rain bullets from the skies.
Oh boy.
Guns akimbo. Its primary fire element guns. Yeah, element guns consist of rapid fire shots that spread as Star-Lord continuously focuses down his targets. So, as you can see, you know, I needed to be at a distance to show this. But like, you have your normal burst, which has a big spread on it, or you can tap fire it to sort of make it more tight, if you will, like a tighter spread on his bullets. But yeah, does fast damage. You kind of want to burst it if possible, just so you get the maximum amount of damage. If you're going to just spray it, go for the body instead of the head. But yeah, he has like one of the fastest shooting guns ever. His secondary fire, Stellar Shift, allows Star-Lord to dodge into any direction, granting him brief invincibility. Using this ability, automatically reloads his element guns. The dodge can avoid any attack in the game, including ultimate abilities, which is going to be this little flip here. You can dodge anything doing this, so do not just use it all willy-nilly, okay? Like, if Scarlet Witch is about to ult, you can use this last second, just to completely avoid it during those little invincible frames, as you can see. And it will also reload your weapon as well. And then Blaster Barrage has Star-Lord shooting in multiple directions, dealing damage to all enemies in a radius around him, which going to be this. It's good for clearing enemies, like if they're already low health, or to like start a fight as well. If you like, you know, if you drop on them, then do this, that you can like dodge out of the way. Rocket propulsion jets Star-Lord forward, granting limited flight while temporarily doubling his movement speed, is an effective tool to escape dangerous situations as well as to reposition safely rather than a cooldown. This ability consumes a special energy resource, so that's going to be this. As you can see, he has like a stamina bar that'll refill over time. And then his ultimate, Galactic Legend, grants Star-Lord temporary free flight and causes his elemental guns to auto-lock on enemies within his sight. During this ability, he gains 20% increased movement speed and he reloads 70% faster. As you can see, this kind of locks on to whoever, you know, pretty straightforward. And then you can use your flips when you're in this as well. So you could avoid like an ultimate if you're in this. But yeah, I mean, just makes your aim better basically. It helps you move faster. Star-Lord is pretty straightforward. And then next up is Storm, who just got a change, so I hope this reflects those changes. I don't think I've ever really used Storm, so y'all have to double check this for me. So Storm is a long-range specialist who can damage enemies clustered together while empowering nearby allies and having free movement on the maps. Constant free flight, granting her high ground advantage to attack enemies from above. As you can see, just kind of fly around, do your thing, you know. Her primary fire, Wind Blade, launches projectiles that pierce through enemies. So that's going to be this, as you can see. But it'll also pierce through enemies as well. How do I go down? I don't know how to go down. There we go. Okay. It's kind of hard to get an angle, but yeah, you can see it piercing a little bit. Kind of hard to do, because she's kind of tall. But our secondary fire, Bolt Rush, launches a spell field in a straight line that deals area of effect damage, which is going to be your right trigger, right? Yeah. Just that. That's it. Not much to say about it, man. Not much to say about it. Okay. So Storm's core gameplay. I feel like I need to burp, but now's not a good time. Excuse me. Storm's core gameplay revolves around her weather control, which grants herself and nearby allies with passive buffs. She can switch between two stances, Tornado and Thunder. Right now we're in Tornado, and then we press this, and now we're in... Never mind, that's the wrong one. This one. This is Thunder, this is Tornado. So Tornado grants Storm a 16% movement speed, while her allies gain an 8% movement speed, like this. And then you can turn it into Thunder, which grants Storm a 16% damage boost, and her allies a 8% damage boost. So if you're damaging people, do this. If you need to get away, do Wind, basically. Pretty straightforward, I'd like to think. Goddess Boost is a cooldown ability to temporarily enhance the effects of weather control for 8 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. Enhanced Tornado increases Storm's movement speed bonus to 40%, while her allies get 20%, and also slows down nearby enemies by 15%. So we would switch to this, do this, and now you have much faster speed, as you can see. And then Enhanced Thunder increases Storm's bonus damage to 30%, while her allies to 12%. It also summons Lightning to strike down at nearby foes every 2 seconds. So we switch to Lightning, empower it, and then Lightning will strike down. And you will just do massive damage. And you can technically switch between the two. You know, if you need to get up, do more damage, get in close. You know, you can switch between which weather you want to use as that ability is active. So, Storm is very good if you can, you know, use the abilities properly. But definitely more of like a competitive, high-ranked sort of character. Because you need your team to be coordinated, you know, and stuff like that. Wait. No, yeah, no, okay. Her ultimate, Omega Hurricane, allows Storm to teleport to the targeted location and summon a large hurricane around her and deal massive damage to enemies caught in it. When first activated, Storm vanishes from the battlefield, and the player has 5 seconds to choose where she'll spawn. Storm can move while in her hurricane, During this ability, she gains almost double her maxed health as bonus health. So let's go and show that. Kind of like Jeff, you can just kind of go wherever, and then you show up, and you start killing everything. You are the goddess of thunder and wind, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, in a group of low enemies, it's good. You know, drags him in too, just kind of like stuns him a little bit, kinda. And yeah, that's it for Storm, realistically. Not much else I can really say. We're almost through this, too. We're almost there. So close. Y'all can taste the victory coming through. That sounds weird. I apologize just a bit. Alright, next up is Punisher, aka John Call of Duty. Punisher is a fairly simplistic but very powerful and resilient living arsenal, specialized at dealing damage at any range by swapping between his weapons while on the move, has a higher maximum health compared to other duelists. His passive, Warrior's Gaze, briefly grants the Punisher vision of enemies who disappear out of his line of sight for 3 seconds. This means that players using the Punisher will still see the highlighted silhouettes of opponents, even if they are behind walls and obstacles, basically giving him just infinite wall hacks, as you can see. So you can just kind of be like that, you know? A lot of people don't really realize this is a thing. That's because you have to see them first, and then they will stay there, just allowing you to, you know, keep your crosshair on them. They also get like a little trail as well if they're moving around. Punisher is able to switch between 2 primary fire weapons at will. He has a long-range automatic rifle that deals consistent rapid-fire damage at long range, which is this, as you can see. If you manage to get a lot of shots in at once, it's very good. But then he has a shotgun, sorry, a mid to short range shotgun that packs incredible power at closer targets. It deals higher damage the closer the Punisher is to his target. He can reliably 1 or 2 shot most standard health enemies if all shots deal critical hits. So, as you can see, you're just dead, you know? You're just kind of dead. This is good for protecting yourself against divers. As a distance, as you can see, you don't want to be doing that. So, usually use this if, like, you're already close to the enemies, so you can just kind of do that, you know? Or if you're getting jumped or dived by, like, a Spider-Man or something, you know, he comes close to you, just look up, boom, now he's dead. So, good way to protect yourself. Close range. His secondary fire is a grenade, as the Punisher lobbing a smoke grenade that deals a small amount of damage on impact, but creates a large smoke cloud that obstructs enemy vision. The Punisher leaps forward when throwing the grenade, making it an effective dodging or spacing tool to widen the gap between him and his opponents, as well as to temporarily, disorient them. Combined with his passive, this gives the Punisher a combat advantage, as he can still see his enemies even while they are obstructed by the smoke bomb. So, as you can see, do that, you can still see them through that as well. So, it's a good thing to, like, you can escape with it, as well as you can see, you can, like, you know, jump around a little bit. So it's good for, like, dodging. If someone's coming at you, you can, like, do this, boom, and then like that. Or you can do this, then do that. Or this, then that, I mean. It depends on the situation. But yeah, so you can use this to travel around. And, yeah, just grace the smoke screen. Can be useful. Maybe you have, like, an Iron Man that's about to alter or something, so you can, like, make him invisible like that sort of thing. You know? There's usually you're just going to use it to dodge. But there is times where you will use it for other reasons. He also can launch a hook with a cable that attaches to any surface, enabling the Punisher to move rapidly through it like a zip line, which is going to be the little grappling icon there. That's too far. But yeah, it's a zip line that you can make, and you can reuse them as well. They do stay on the map. Um, so having these out of the gate of spawn is usually a good idea. So you can get back into the fight pretty often. You can go back on them as well, and kind of like Fortnite zip lines. If you jump at the end, as you can see, you sort of get like a little boost of speed there that you can use to like bunny hop around. I'm in too close of an area to be able to actually show that properly, but these things are important. These zip lines are absolutely important. You have to know when to use them, how to use them, but they can make or break a good Punisher player for sure. And then he also has a turret that he can deploy, a stationary armored skull-shaped turret that causes the player to enter a first-person view. The turret allows the Punisher to rapidly fire explosive bullets that both deal direct damage as well as explosive damage in a small radius. The bullets fired by the turret are not affected by damage fall-off, so you can be as far away as you want, meaning they will deal full damage no matter how far away the Punisher is from his targets. While mounted on the turret, the Punisher becomes unstoppable and completely immune to all forms of crowd control. This also applies during the transformation. It is also important to mention, and I don't know if I have this on here, but it also is important to mention that his turret has its own health bar. So, if you're in your turret and your turret gets destroyed with a 600 health, you won't die automatically. Like, you're still alive after that fact. So, like, if someone's about to ult on you or something, you can technically pull this out. As long as this turret stays alive when the ultimate hits you, you will survive. But yeah, you basically, you want to get some high ground distance, and then just kind of, lay into the enemy from a distance. It does massive damage. And then let's say, you're getting flanked, you can just whip out your shotgun. What I would recommend you do, though, if you want to play Punisher, is whatever gun you're holding is the gun you're going to have when you come out of the turret, So I recommend you have your shotgun out when you're entering the turret, because if you are getting jumped by someone, like let's say you see to the right, like this person's coming over here, you can pop out, have your shotgun out, and be able to do them dirty, if you will. So, just do keep that in mind, that, that is an important thing to keep in mind. Because just using this, it's not going to be as good as this when they're, like, right in your face, It's hard to miss this, and it does massive damage. And then his ultimate temporarily equips the Punisher with 2 massive Gatling guns and a shoulder-mounted missile launcher, both with infinite ammo. The Gatling gun has one of the highest rate of fire in the game. After Star-Lord's element gun, the missiles automatically lock on to the nearest enemies, up to 3 at once. While under the effects of Final Judgment, Punisher becomes unstoppable, completely immune to all forms of crowd control. This also applies during the transformation. As you can see, you just become this endless killing machine. It's crazy. It shows the cooldown at the right there as well. It says 5 seconds. And the missile will lock on to the nearest target. So you technically don't even have to shoot for the missiles to go off, as you can see. It'll just auto-lock on to enemies. And yeah, that's his ultimate. I mean, it's awesome. It's great. And that is it for Punisher. Next up is Winter Soldier. How many more do we have left here? I'm trying to take a look. We have Elsa to do, Wolverine. Oh yeah, we only have like 2 or 3 more left then. We're at the finish line here, ladies and gentlemen.
I was rebuilt to be a weapon, but now I'm the one who pulls the trigger.
Yeah, I think we have 3 more. Alright. So, Punisher. No. I'm just gonna let's just forget that just happened. Ain't no way I'm gonna mess this up 7 hours in, you know? Like at the fucking finish line, ain't no way. Winter Soldier is a combo-based assassin that can quickly shift from mid-range attacks to devastating close-range combos with conditional area of effect potential, above average health compared to other duelists, which can be brought even higher thanks to his passive. His passive is Ceaseless Charge, automatically reloads his primary fire whenever he uses any of the bionic arm-related abilities, while also providing bonus health. This means his kit flows. This makes his kit flow in synergy, as players can use bionic arm abilities instead of manually reloading, as the what? Oh, as the situation demands to connect his combos seamlessly. I need to clean my screen off because I thought that was a letter, but that is just a mark of something. His primary fire not only has fast projectile his primary fire not only has fast projectiles and deals high damage, but also has a unique property of dealing splash damage that hits enemies in a small cone directly behind the primary target, granting Winter Soldier a powerful conditional area of effect damage. Does that sound confusing? Probably. So, it's kind of hard to show this. I don't think I can. But yeah, I mean, you know, he does big damage up close. Does great damage. And I mean, from a distance, like, his damage isn't that bad. But you don't want to use him super far away. I know you feel like you want to, but you don't. I mean, like, from a distance, he still does great damage. But it's because of all his other abilities, you need to be, like, sort of up close. So he's kind of like a melee character, but, like, with a gun. Kind of like Blade, I guess, in a way. And probably even Deadpool, I guess. Is that a meme now? I don't know. Let's not even think about it, but you want to use him more close range for the rest of his abilities, basically. So his secondary fire, Bionic Hook, which is a charged attack that extends the length of his bionic arm in a straight line to hook and pull the first target caught in his path towards Winter Soldier. This ability is the core of the Winter Soldier's combo-oriented gameplay, allowing him to pull key targets overextending, such as strategists, to quickly follow up with his other abilities in order to deal devastating damage. Bionic's hooked range increases based on charge time, extending twice as long as at maximum charge. In addition to dealing direct damage for the first target hit, it also deals damage to enemies in a small cone directly behind the target. So let's show that. Maximum charge, brings him in. Or he can just tap it, but obviously it won't go as far.
Here they come.
So, I mean, this has its uses. Depending on, like, the map you're on and stuff, you can totally pull enemies off maps and stuff like that. But this will combine him into other combos that we will get into. It's crazy that I'm talking about combos for the basics of characters, but that is just how hard some characters are. You have to know literal combos to use the character efficiently before learning the more advanced stuff. So Trooper's Fist is a short-ranged forward dash that ends in an uppercut. Enemies caught by it are pushed and launched upwards. The dash can hit multiple targets if they are very close to each other, leading them perfectly into the uppercut. So let's go ahead and show that. Just like that, as you can see. And, you know, if you're starting to understand the way this game works, I hope you are, then you might have seen this one coming where you do this, and boom, boom, and then boom. So you hook, uppercut, and then shoot him in the head, basically. Or if you can move fast, you do this, turn around, and then like uppercut. It's weird. It's a weird motion to do, and I can never do it properly.
Not today.
But like you want to uppercut them, then turn fast because the punch will push them basically. So most people are gonna like do this, do that, but I just don't move fast enough to make that happen. But if you play against like people on PC, that's probably what they're gonna be doing. But yeah, that's his uppercut. And then Tainted Voltage is an energy projectile launched in a straight line after a small buildup. The projectile has piercing properties, allowing Winter Soldier to hit multiple enemies if they are caught in the line of fire. Enemies hit by the blast are slowed by 35% for 2 seconds. Excuse me. If this ability hits flying enemies, such as Iron Man and Star-Lord, it will knock them down to the ground. That's going to be this little charge up here.
Nothing personal.
Which again could be combined with his combos technically. Because you could be like this, then do that, then like that. You know? But this is more for groups of enemies. Or you can like start with that and then do that and like boom boom, you know? Kinda like that. Because your uppercut can hit multiple enemies at once. So this guy's like a little low. I didn't do that right. Target this guy, bring him close, uppercut. You know, you'll shoot that. And you can finish off most people. Again, he's very combo oriented, and these are not good examples of perfect combos whatsoever, but you get the picture. And then his ultimate Kraken Impact has Winter Soldier leaping high into the air while charging his bionic arm, projecting a large circular reticle that shows the area of effect, before performing a downward strike at the ground with unleashed tentacles, dealing high damage in a large radius. Enemies hit by Kraken Impact are temporarily marked with a debuff called Culling for 5 seconds, displayed as a small dark red bar overlapping the left side of an affected target's health bar. This dark red mark represents 20% of a character's max health. If a marked character's health drops below this 15% threshold, they will be killed instantly. When Winter Soldier is using Kraken Impact, enemies already below 15% of their maximum health are given a unique icon above their health bars. This icon signals to the player using Winter Soldier that these enemies can be killed with his ultimate in one blow, which also regenerates the ultimate instantly. That's a lot. That's a lot for a little arm going boom boom. But as you can see, you know, you got a little red icon there that to show that he's low health. Let's just use this normally. Just hit an enemy. As you can see, then he has a little red bar. And basically, you know, let's just do this. If their health falls below that red bar, they automatically just die, which is completely insane and broken, to be honest. Because that'll allow you to just one-shot enemies, basically. But what you want to do is to get their health low, so it's in that red like that, and then you do this. And then you will gain another charge of that back again, shoot them, and then you can just go in this like this endless loop for about 6 seconds. Because once it runs out, you can't use it again, so you can technically wipe a whole team if they're low health. You know, you just kind of go in for the kill. It's a very good ultimate to use. But yeah, he's very combo oriented. You have to get these red marks. That'll basically insta-kill them. So you gotta keep an eye out for that. But also if you hit them when they're not full health, they get that little red bar, and then if they go below that, they just kinda keel over and die. Which is good for headshots. So, Winter Soldier, completely busted. I'm gonna have to use Winter Soldier more often, to be honest. Get those combos. And I think Wolverine's the second last. I think we've done everyone else up to this point that I can physically see. Aside from Elsa. So Elsa should be next. Yep, okay.
You picked the wrong day.
Okay, so Wolverine is a close-range brawler with high mobility and survivability, capable of consistently harassing his targets while progressively increasing his own attack power. He has a massive max health compared to most duelists. and he has slightly higher base movement speed compared to other duelists as well. Wolverine's gameplay revolves around his damage percentage bonus. Unlike other heroes, Wolverine deals a small percentage of the target's maximum health as damage in addition to a flat amount of damage. The more health an enemy has, the more damage Wolverine will deal. This makes him exceptional at taking down opponents with higher max health, specifically Vanguards. And his passive, or his first passive, Regenerative Healing Factor, automatically grants Wolverine bonus health once his health depletes to 0, while also removing any debuffs he previously had. This bonus health amount scales with Wolverine's current stacks of Berserker Rage, from a base of 150 bonus health to 300 bonus health with max Rage stacks. After 3 seconds, this bonus health is converted into a direct heal at a 1-to-1 ratio. This passive has a lengthy cooldown of 90 seconds once triggered, but is decreased by 10 seconds every time Wolverine eliminates an enemy or provides an assist. So, pretty crazy. And the Berserker Rage is a stackable passive that builds up whenever he deals or takes damage. Every offensive ability that successively connects, including his ultimate, provides a different amount of stacks for Berserker Rage. Each stack grants a small bonus of percentage damage to all of Wolverine's attacks. These bonuses max out at 100 stacks. The Berserker Rage gauge is shown directly below the aiming reticle. This is also a visual indicator when Wolverine's claws begin glowing orange, akin to heated metal, in addition to his body becoming enveloped by a blood-red aura, both of which becoming more intense as Berserker Rage stacks climb. At max stacks, his hair becomes spiky, and red sparks pulse around him. So let's just go show that real quick. As you can see, we build it up, we get stronger and stronger until we just become this demonic monster that is Wolverine. His primary fire, Savage Claw, unleashes 4 quick slashes with his claws, with the 4th attack having a slight delay afterwards. This attack deals damage equal to 1.5% of the target's max health, with an extra 0.045% damage for each stack of Berserker Rage. So, the higher your gauge is, the more damage you will do. But the higher the maximum health of the enemy, the more damage you will also do. So he's very much like a tank buster, He's going and taking down the big guys. Secondary fire, Vicious Rampage, is a quick lunge forward that unleashes a cross claw strike. This attack deals damage equal to 1.5% of the target's maximum health, with an extra 0.045% chance or percent damage for each of Berserker Rage, for each point of Berserker Rage. That'll be this claw attack, as you can see. It'll get stronger and stronger, capping out at whatever amount of damage that is, which isn't a lot. It's not a lot. It's good to combo with his abilities, I guess, but it's more of used as like a dash, to be honest, rather than like an attack. Feral Leap is a jumping leap attack that ends with Wolverine smashing the ground upon landing, dealing damage. After using Feral Leap, his primary fire, Savage Claw, temporarily becomes Berserker Claw Strike for 4 seconds. Berserker Claw Strike has vastly increased attack speed and removes any delay between attacks. If the leap connects with an enemy, they will be grabbed and pulled alongside Wolverine and become unable to act, until being briefly stunned once Wolverine lands on the ground. Feral Leap is capable of grabbing enemies directly behind or to the side of Wolverine, which is weird. This ability may be used to pick off key overextending targets or to separate them from the rest of the team. Kind of like a wolf, if you will, just kind of,
Let's do this.
But yeah, I'm not good at using this, to be fair. But yeah, your attacks get stronger, and then when you're in rage, you just, you're already unstoppable as it is. It says you can pick up enemies behind? So if you're behind me? Oh, okay. That's weird. Is that why I suck with it so much? I just have to be, like, near them. Because, like, I'm always aiming in front of them, and then I just jump over them. But if you're just beside them, that makes sense. And then aiming straight down doesn't do anything. You can aim up a little bit, like if you pick them up. It's hard to get an angle on that. I guess as if they're behind you. If they're behind you, then you can like go straight up like that to get maximum distance. But if they're beside you, that doesn't really seem to work too well. But yeah, this attack is like Wolverine's main thing, picking off the enemy team one by one. He might be someone I have to learn how to use, to be honest. I'll get into that at the end of this, as like a little update, but yeah. Both the Snatch and Slam deal damage are equal to 1% of the target's max health, with an extra 0.05 damage to each point of Berserker Rage. So again, the more rage you have, the more damage this does. And this does damage just on its own when you pick them up and slam them down. So let me see if I can get a full bar here. And then let me pull you up and see how much that does. Not a huge noticeable difference, to be honest. But yeah, that's mostly his thing, taking enemies, pull them out. Again, mostly tanks, because the more health the enemies have, the more damage you do. Just keep that in mind. And then Undying Animal provides Wolverine a 50% damage reduction from all sources for 5 seconds, which is this. So that just lets him get in close, which is cool. And then his ultimate Last Stand is a Rising Claw strike that knocks enemies directly upwards. Upon connecting, Wolverine will leap high into the air, prompting the player to strike down and deal damage in a radius. The first enemy caught when Wolverine descends will be snatched and slammed to the ground, being briefly stunned. Both attacks during the ultimate deal damage equal to 10% of the target's maximum health, with an extra 0.3% damage for each point of Berserker Rage. So again, he's very much the tank buster. You're taking down enemy tanks. But yeah, you can use that, launch him up, and then you can dive back down. The more rage you have, the more damage, the more health they have, the more damage. He's just an ultimate killing machine. He really is. It's kind of his whole thing, dude. And you can use this to dash, as you can see, and like pick enemies up as well. You don't have to just slam onto the ground. So you want to like pick them into the air and then, kind of do that. I feel like I didn't show that properly, but you launch them up and then you can sort of do that. That's like an insta-kill for anyone in your path. Or you can just slam down as well. Needless to say, Wolf Raid is fucking insane. If you can use him properly. Again, use your cross attack as mobility. Okay? Don't think about this as like just an attack to deal damage. Think about it more as a way to get around. Because you want to damage yourself, go in, do damage, maybe, kidnap a player, bring him over, just build up your stuff. And then you can cross in, use your ultimate if need be, and then finish off whoever's in your way, or you can just sort of pin them to a wall or whatever it may be. Pretty situational, but it should basically just eliminate anyone. And yeah, that is that is Wolverine, and now we go into the newest character officially.
If you're not careful,
I feel like I'm about to get kicked out of the training range here real quick, so I'm just going to reset this real fast before that happens. Because that would not be good. We're at the end. We're at the end, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the end. We have survived. Like fucking 8 hours later, we have survived.
do this myself.
I didn't think this was going to take this long. I thought maybe like 4 or 5 hours at the most, but we're like doubling that.
Cheeky gits.
Okay, so this is Elsa Bloodstone, who's the newest character. I just pressed something. I don't know what that just did. If I'm being honest, I don't know what I clicked on. I'm just going to have to live with that for now. Okay. So, the newest character, Elsa Bloodstone, is a all-rounder combatant that slowly ramps up her survivability and damage potential over time. Many of her abilities have a short cooldown and or can be used to make for quick eliminations on vulnerable opponents. She kind of plays a lot like Psylocke, if you play a lot of Psylocke, you know. But we're not here to know about that yet. Her passive, Inherited Instinct, charges instinct through damage dealt as displayed by a yellow bar at the bottom of the player's interface. For every level of the instinct she has, the cooldown of Helix Advance is reduced. Instinct does not decay and is only reduced by 1 level when Elsa is eliminated. Elsa gains 1 level of instinct when earning a KO, and 2 levels when KOing an enemy caught by Smokey's Snare. As you can see at the bottom there, there's those little white bars, and those will fill up as we get some eliminations. So Elsa Bloodstone has two different versions of her primary fire. The double barrel blaster is her default weapon, which is a shotgun that fires 2 rounds in quick succession, as you can see. Whoops. That is her main fire. And Monster Piercer fires 1 heavy shotgun blast from her elephant gun. The bullets pierce through enemies and deal percentage damage. What that percentage is, I couldn't tell you.
There you are, you cheeky gits.
But yeah, you use ability and then you can find that.
Don't get back up.
As you can see, it does decent damage. You know, it's nothing too crazy. It's more about the piercing effects on it. But we'll get into some like combos and stuff after. But that's why her crosshair is the way that it is, because this has spread on it, which is inside the circle. But then the elephant gun has this, like, you know, diagonal spread on it, represented by those red lines. Basically meaning, if this red line was slightly on the enemy, it would still hit a few of the bullets. Or if you have, like, 2 targets aligned, like, kind of like this, you know, as long as they're lined up, you'll hit both of them. This crosshair was made by me, by the way. All the other crosshairs I use are from the guy I credited at in the settings portion, but this one was created by me. It may need some tweaking here and there. I'm not too sure yet, but I mean, it gets the job done.
That's a big gun.
Her secondary fire, Living Bullet, shoots a round that splits into Seeking Shards on impact. Enemies hit by the shards are marked and grant Elsa a 40% movement boost for 1 second. When hit by either of her guns, shards deal extra damage to barriers and enemies with bonus health. So this will, as you can see, split a bullet. You can hit enemy.
That one's on you, mate.
Hold on. You can go up to an enemy and hit them, and it'll split like in between. Then you get, you know, that bonus speed boost.
Breathing gunshot. That's 3.
But you can also like hit it off the ground and it'll split. You can hit it off a ceiling technically. You can hit it off of like obstacles, but it has to be close enough to the enemy.
Here comes the horse.
But this is good, like crowd control, because it'll split between the enemies. Then you can have like a speed boost and you can go in with your elephant gun.
Now that's a big
Again, we'll get into that afterwards. But yeah, that's the bullet. And then I'm just going to mention this quickly because she is the newest character. She does have a team up with Deadpool, and that basically allows the Living Bullet to deal damage over time, but you can also recall the Living Bullet to get like bonus health back. Basically, that's only with a Deadpool team up, so just don't get that confused. Helix Advance is a basic dash that grants bonus health. It also enables a 6-second window where Elsa's next primary fire will be the Monster Piercer. At max instinct, the cooldown goes as low as 2 seconds, granting you the means of on-demand bonus health and cycling back to your elephant gun for maximum damage output. This is going to be your main thing with Elsa, is this dash right here, okay? You need to be dashing as much as possible. Again, it's not a 2-second cooldown, so just try and get used to that. But this is why she kind of plays like Psylocke a little bit, is because when you shoot and then you apply your elephant gun, you can keep shooting as you have that. So you just kind of do like this continuous burst of damage on an enemy as long as you keep holding down the trigger, basically. I mean, as you're dashing around, it's going to be hard, especially on controller, to sort of master that properly, but again, you just want to master that dash completely. You can use it to, you know, maneuver around. You can't get up anywhere with this. Which dash is this? Because there's two. Helix Advance. This is the right one. Okay, just want to make sure. But yeah, this pulls out your gun. That's it. This is just your main way to just do continuous damage. So you need to get used to this. If you want to be a good Elsa, you got to be prepared to play like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. On controller, very hard. On mouse and keyboard, probably pretty damn easy because just Psylocke, you know, you just go around, boom, you know, do whatever. So I might need custom settings for her, because I'm trying to learn dive characters. I'll get into that afterwards. Let's continue. Relentless Pursuit, her other dash, and this dash launches an enemy into the air. Elsa can then reactivate this ability within a 5-second window to fire a follow-up shot. It propels the player back and slows down opponents. Also grants bonus health upon activation. Both the dash and follow-up shots enable the window for Monster Piercer. Again, this is another like combo-focused thing. So if you use it, you do that, and you have access to Monster Piercer as well. You can do a follow-up shot, which will also unlock Monster Piercer. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. So you can like dash in, shoot, do this, boom, shoot, boom, boom. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot. I know she says she's a fucking 3-star, but that combo alone is pretty Spider-Man-ish, honestly, because you can mess that up quite a bit. Especially if they're like moving around, but then you can like throw a living bullet in there as well. It's crazy. There's a lot of dashing. You have to get used to dashing. But dashing is the most important thing, though. With that bonus health, you just become unstoppable. You know, just do that. You can. It's important to mention that you can dash anywhere, but with the right dash. There's the left dash and then the right dash. But with the left dash, you cannot go up. So you use this in like a combat scenario to pull out the elephant gun. But if you need to just get around, use your right dash, and you can do that. And then you can also get extra airtime with the follow-up shot as well. So think of your right dash as more of a way to transport yourself rather than an actual attack. Both dashes should be used as like, you know, moving around, but that combo alone is not going to be like game-breaking or anything for you. Now, if an enemy is low health, like that, for example, I mean, absolutely go in for a dash, because then you could just fall back like that, you know? She's an insane character if you can get the combos down pretty well. And then her Smoky Snare deploys a small trap that becomes invisible and invulnerable after 1 second of being on the ground. When stepped over, the target is briefly immobilized, while Elsa is able to perform a targeted dash It also gains 2 levels of instinct when eliminating a trapped enemy. Now, the dash on this thing is kind of not great, I'll be honest. But we'll go ahead and show that. As you can see, it sort of locks them in. Then they'll have that sort of outline around them, which will give you like a bonus instinct. But then we'll check out the dash. There you go, you can dash in. Again, the dash kinda sucks. Gonna be honest, that needs to be changed or something, because you don't go very far and it also doesn't do anything. But you could do this, jump back, do that, boom. You know, something like that. So realistically, you'd want to put this on your back line or like choke points or like where you know an enemy's going to go. And then, you know, dash in, do that, boom, boom, boom. You know, you can kill them fast if you gotta use it properly though. You can throw it into the front line as well, technically, if the enemies are, like, just being bombarded by too much. But she's very combo heavy. It's not just, let me shoot gun and get killed. It's very much of, let me, like, hunt for my fucking prey, and then, you know, jump in, take him out, flee the scene, go back in, do the same thing. Just like any dive character. And then this dive, again, is on a 2-second cooldown, so you'd be using it the most often. Let me just show that real quick as well. 1, 2. Now you can do it again. This one has, let me use it, a 6-second cooldown. So again, you're very much using your dashes as much as humanly possible, okay? Always be dashing. Any chance you can, just dash. Even if you're not using it to like hit someone, you know, just get that bonus health because it'll keep you alive so much longer. And then of course, you know, you can go for a combo like that, you know, dash in and whatnot. Just never stop shooting, basically, is like the lesson here. Never let go of the trigger, basically. I mean, obviously do, but like if you're attacking someone, just keep pressing that down. Because you can do crazy damage. Okay, just watch this for a second, okay? I'm gonna just hold this down. Right? I'm gonna just hold this down. And then I'm gonna do a combo. Okay? And just watch what happens. You see how fast that was? I mean, like, genuinely, did you see how fast that was? That was a bit bad because I didn't get any headshots there, but I think you get the point, right? Just never stop shooting. Like as soon as you're about to go in for a kill, just keep shooting the entire time. Do not stop. Because as you can see, you get that extra shot every time. So yeah, she's cracked if you can use her properly. Again, newest hero in the game right now. Just for a basic, little rundown, because I know people don't even know the basics of her yet, but that is the basics. Is you need to get those combos down. It's just so important to the way you're going to be playing this. And again, treat her like Psylocke or Magic. You want to find opportunities to get the enemy, do some damage, get in close, and then, finish them off. So she's basically Psylocke 2.0, essentially. And then her ultimate as Apex Predator summons the Glantrox to charge forward and drag along enemies in his path, then bite down for damage once he reaches the end of his travel distance. Elsa can reactivate the ultimate to recall the Glantrox to her position, allowing her to quickly combo with Relentless Pursuit for devastating damage. Basically meaning if big guy hits wall, not much happens. But if you pick up an enemy, call him back, you can combo that, as well. You can also do damage to them as they're being picked up as well. So you can do like that. You know, it just combos with everything. It's just so good. And you can like, knock enemies off the map and stuff. And you can pick up multiple enemies at once. I feel like it's important to mention that. As you can see, just pull them in and just do that, boom, dead. This ability is overpowered right now, it's crazy. But it has to be used properly, because if it hits a wall, it's just kind of gone. Look how far away that thing can go, by the way. Let's just watch that one more time, just so you understand the distance of this thing. And then you can call it back. Like, this thing does not end until it reaches you or it hits a wall. Just to put that into perspective, okay? You can kill anyone with a distance like this, dude. If you got a whole team like this, you can also move further away to make it last longer as well, and you can just be killing them the entire time. This ultimate just lasts like a million fucking years. It's crazy. And then again, you can damage them as they're being dragged. So, in an open space, very good. In a closed space, well, let's just see how that goes. Not great. Like, in a very closed environment, not great. But yeah, she's just insane if you can use her properly and, understand that you need to be dashing all the time. Your left dash is important. Your right dash is also important. Just a lot of dashing involved. When you get into any fight, you need to be dashing as often as possible. Also holding down your trigger to do more damage, because you can get faster shots this way, assuming you can stay on target. And then you can go in for your mega combos as well. And that is officially it. That is everyone. Every hero, from a basic standpoint. We're not getting into combos and stuff like that, because that's not what we're here for. And let me go somewhere a little quieter. No, I'm gonna look this way.